Do you believe there was a comprehensive Russian program? And do you believe the Russians are going to come back here and elsewhere in the world to try to influence future elections?
Yeah, so there's a pretty clear and easy answer to this, and that's yes.
You've probably been asked this a million times before, but everyone wants an answer, everyone in this room. Did Russia intervene in our election?
I have been asked it a million times. It's true. Yeah, of course. And the one before that, and the one before that. They've been at this a hell of a long time, and I don't think they have any intention of backing off. Just look, look, this is the 19th time you all have asked. I'm happy to answer it a 20th time. It's quite easy. I am confident that the Russians meddled in this election, as is the entire intelligence community. Yes.
Right. What the Russians then did with the information, all right? And then that turned into what we would have called a covert influence operation, and frankly, it is the most successful covert influence operation in history, and we can talk about that till we're all done here.
When you were the CIA director, you delivered what was described as an eyes-only message to President Obama that Russian President Putin was directly and personally involved in the effort to disrupt the U.S. presidential election. If you could walk us through that, what led you to that determination?
My intelligence experience and good counsel with Jim Clapper and my other colleagues in the intelligence community, that, as was borne out by the intelligence community assessment that we put out in January, underscored the intelligence community's assessment, FBI, NSA, CIA, and DNI, that Mr. Putin had authorized this. And as you can imagine, those types of assessments are built upon an array of intelligence sources, information, as well as experience. And the expertise, and I will say, I know I'm biased, but CIA has the absolute best analysts in the US government, bar none, especially on Russia. And they know exactly what the types of things are that the Russian intelligence service would do and what would require the authorization from Mr. Putin. So you put all that together, and it becomes then crystal clear to us that Mr. Putin was the one who had directed this to take place.
The multifaceted things the Russians did, and it wasn't just the hacking. There's social media trolls, fake news, the very aggressive, sophisticated propaganda efforts by RT, the totality of this and what impact that actually had on the election, we had no way of gauging that.
Is there any dissent within the intelligence community that you oversee on the question of whether the Russians interfered with the American election?
There is no dissent, and I have stated that publicly.
Everyone's on board.
And I've stated it to the president. Now, I've been over in Europe. They've done it to the French. They did it to the Brits on their elections. The Germans are now encountering that on their elections coming up in September. The president of Montenegro, I was sitting next to at a luncheon, and he said the Russians are messing with us. I mean, they're trying to undermine Western democracy. And so they're doing it not just with us, but they're doing it with nations that fall in the democratic process across the world.
Do you have any doubt, based on the intelligence that you have reviewed, that Russia meddled through an organized covert influence campaign in our presidential election last year?
No doubt at all, and I stand behind the intelligence community assessment that we produced in January. I was part of that process, both as an organization, NSA, personally as the director. I knew that this was going to be an issue that was of strong importance to our nation. I personally got involved with it, and I stand behind that report.
My colleague, Lester Holt, here last night was interviewing Dan Coates, and he affirmed, as did other intelligence officials here at the forum, that he has no doubt and does not disagree with the conclusion of the intelligence agencies that it was Russia that was meddling in the cyber attacks on our election. Do you have any problem with that intelligence as you?
I don't. I mean, that's what the Intelligence Committee assessment is, and I have no reason to question that.
Will you once and for all, yes or no, definitively say that Russia interfered in the 2016 election?
Well, I think it was Russia, and I think it could have been other people in other countries. Could have been a lot of people interfered. I said it very simply. I think it could very well have been Russia, but I think it could well have been other countries, and I won't be specific, but
again, say you think it was Russia. Your intelligence agencies have been far more definitive. They say it was Russia. Why won't you agree with them and say it was?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it was Russia, but I think it was probably other people and/or countries, and I see nothing wrong with that statement. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows for sure.
How about it is the
How
unanimous?
about it was the president, Jake?
Okay, it's the
I talked to
consensus
him
of the
yesterday.
intelligence community.
He called me from Air Force One,
Yeah.
and he basically said to me, "Hey, you know, this is maybe they did it, maybe they didn't do it." It actually, in his mind, what are you guys suggesting? You're going to delegitimize his victory?
No.
Is that going to make his victory illegitimate?
No.
Is that the point of it?